What's good, YouTube? It's Pay, and today I'm going to be talking about Youngboy's new album, I Rest My Case, which came out this past Friday on January 6th. Now, this isn't really like a review of the album per se, but more of a review of the consequences of the album. On this album, I really do feel like Youngboy jumped the shark, and what I mean by that is he took it to a new place where his fans are uncomfortable. A lot of Youngboy's fans are super loyal. They're diehards. They go to war for him about anything. But this new stuff, they're kind of turned off by it. Like a decent amount of them, I'd say about half, maybe even more, don't really like this new project and they don't like this new sound. Now, this project is more of a rage type album. It's, more similar to the likes of like a Playboy Cardi, a Ken Carson. It's basically an Opium audition tape, damn near. And I say that jokingly, of course, but yeah, it's not something that you typically hear from NBA Youngboy. He'd been going in this kind of path recently, over the past like year or so. This kind of like rock star rapper era or rock star rapper space where you would talk about guys like Cardi, Travis, Uzi, kind of that space of rapper, and that's not where Youngboy's obviously where his fan base originated from, and that's not where a majority of his style in the beginning up till this point had came from. So it's fairly new. He was doing stuff with, a little bit of the Rockstar stuff last year, with the song like Emo Rockstar and the song, I think it was Fish Scale. Yeah, he had been doing some stuff that sounded a little bit more like the Cardi Uzi range, but nothing too crazy, still sticking to his normal sound throughout most of the year in 2022 and even a little in 2021 when he started the beginning of this stuff. But it's just kind of gotten progressively further and further. He started painting his nails, dressing in all black. He did the makeup, face paint thing, whatever you want to call it. And his fans had been kind of letting it slide. Like, they've been kind of like, it's still Youngboy though. Like, he paints his nails and, I don't really rock with that, but it's still Youngboy though. And then he did the face paint thing and they're like, it's still Youngboy though. So like, we're going to rock with it. And they had been kind of giving him a whole bunch of passes for a lot of stuff that they would normally roast other rappers for. Like, most Youngboy fans would roast people like a Playboy Cardi, an Uzi, or anybody else for really wearing the face paint and the nails and stuff. Like, they would typically roast those guys, but when Youngboy did it, it was kind of like putting them in between a rock and a hard place. And he had really been kind of, I want to say, kind of polarizing his fan base, but also like expanding their horizons. Because a lot of Youngboy fans really aren't open to that stuff. They'll just call you gay if you paint your nails black, or they'll call you gay if you have face paint, and they'll call you gay if you wear the black outfits and all that. Like, they're typically that type of fan base where they're not really open to all that stuff like a Cardi fan or an Uzi fan. But recently, Youngboy started to kind of dip his toe in it, and they had been kind of like, but it's Youngboy. We all know Youngboy's a real one. Youngboy's a real street dude, man, and he would never. So they're kind of like, nah, Youngboy's just doing this because he's expressing himself, which is why anyone does it. It doesn't make you gay or anything like that. So he had been kind of opening their minds a little bit and opening them to more the rock styles, the rockstar style of music, the more rap rock sound. He did some stuff on the collab album with DaBaby that was kind of like that. And, some fans liked it, some fans didn't, but it wasn't really a major talking point because that wasn't the whole album. But this new album, I Rest My Case, is pretty much all rage music. That's pretty much the whole album. And so a lot of fans are kind of turned off by it. They see it as Youngboy taking it too far. He took all the rockstar stuff too far. He took this and that's too far. I don't think he'll necessarily like lose fans or anything like that because of this new project, but he's definitely putting his fans in a space that they've never been before, where they actually are going against Youngboy. Like, even when Youngboy would drop like the most mid song ever, all his fans, oh my God, this is the best thing. This is the best thing ever. And I'm saying this as a Youngboy fan. They would, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. But now you're actually getting a lot of pushback from Youngboy fans. I haven't seen pushback like this for Youngboy ever in his entire career, from his own fans at least. And I personally, I like the album a lot. I love the album. Well, I won't say I love the album, but I like the album a lot. The album is pretty good. There's some good songs on there, like the song Red, Black, and a couple others like that I've really been listening to a lot. But that's because I already listened to that type of music. I already listened to Cardi and Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely and Opium. Like, I already listened to that style of music. So it's not anything new to me. And it's just like, oh, one of my other favorite artists is trying something that somebody else I like does. But Youngboy fans aren't used to this style of music. They are completely shell shocked by this. And I think the fact that Youngboy doesn't really care what anyone thinks, including his fans, is really good because he is expanding their brains. He's expanding their horizons. He's making them more open to this type of stuff. You know, a lot of Youngboy fans are really confused and they're not rocking with this stuff. But I think down the line, they'll start to come around a little bit more. But this is really like a new chapter in the story of Youngboy. This is completely new. You know, he was doing the rockstar stuff, but he's really doing it now. He's really doing it now. And this is like the first major fracture, major controversy, major issue that I've seen inside the Youngboy fandom. And it's crazy. It's crazy to see. You would never think that a tight-knit unit like that would ever be so split down the middle about an album, especially a Youngboy album that's the first one of the year. And, you know, they practically say all his stuff is a 10 out of 10. So to see this is kind of interesting. And I think that Youngboy is putting a lot of his, like, regular fans or his fans that have been there since day one, he's putting them in a spot that they're not used to, where Youngboy's doing stuff that they don't approve of, or doing stuff that they don't think is regular, or doing stuff that they've never really seen before from somebody like Youngboy. And I think it's really interesting. It's something that needs to be, like, documented. And I guess I'm doing that with this video. But this album right here is like his jumping the shark moment. This is his Family Guy where they kill off Brian in the middle of a season moment. This is that for Youngboy. This is him taking a big risk and not caring what anyone says, but also putting his fans in a position where they're not really sure what to think about this. They're really not. A lot of Youngboy fans are kind of sitting there scratching their heads like, this isn't the type of music we want. This isn't the Youngboy that we want. And I think it's pretty cool. I do. And I like the music a lot. I think a lot of Cardi fans, Uzi fans, Yeet fans would probably like this stuff a lot more than some of the Youngboy fans. And that's just because of the style of music it is. Also, Youngboy has always been super versatile. Like, that's always been like a thing. But he's never really gotten too many chances to show it. Typically, his beat selection is pretty, safe in terms of this type of stuff that he works on. He typically doesn't go out too far from his regular beat selection. But this is completely new. This is all new stuff for Youngboy. And I absolutely love it. I think this is a great move for Youngboy. I think this is not only going to expand the horizons of his own fan base and have them be more accepting to the stuff that he's doing just in general. But I think this will also allow him to bring in more fans from other people as well. But I think that he's really going to go down this rocks, era or zone, whatever you want to call it, because a lot of fans just thought it was a little phase that he was going through in 2022. He was on house arrest. He was stuck in the house all day, didn't have anything to do. He was bored. Maybe he was just trying stuff out, but no, this is really where he's going. Not just stylistically or aesthetic wise, but musically as well. Maybe he even releases an entire rock album. I heard a snippet of him doing a rock song or something like that. And, a lot of fans, a lot of his day one, loyal fans are kind of thrown off by this. And I've never really seen that from Youngboy fans. So it's kind of cool. I think a lot of his fans are going to come around to this album in the next couple months to a year. I think they're really going to give it a chance. And a lot of them are going to like it a lot more than they initially did. But yeah, Youngboy fans are kind of split right now. Youngboy really, really jumped the shark, and he really just did something that not a lot of artists would do, even if they wanted to. Even if they wanted to make some more rock sounding music or just do something completely different, they wouldn't do that because they would risk, their fans being upset. And Youngboy he doesn't really care. So I think it's kind of cool that he would do something like this. I think a lot of his fans, again, are going to come around and realize that this isn't a phase. And maybe we even get to see a Youngboy rock album. Maybe he does something like Wayne and releases an entire rock album. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, because Youngboy, when he really gets into something, he really goes like 100%. He doesn't just like BS it. He may not do it for super long, but he will do it like to the fullest in that moment that he really wants to. So we could see that down the line. Who knows what's going on with Youngboy, but he's definitely fully fledged rock star. He's like an Opium affiliate damn near at this point. But the man he doesn't care. He doesn't care. So if you're a fan of Youngboy right now and you're kind of thrown off and you're kind of like, what the hell even is this? Looks like you're going to have to get with the program, because Youngboy, he's doing his own thing in 2023. And that's being a rock star, and that's releasing that rock, rap type of music. But, if you didn't like the album, leave a comment down below. Tell me why you didn't like the album. If you did like the album, tell me why you did down below. If you're a Youngboy fan who falls into that category of fans who's kind of shell-shocked right now and don't really know where he's going and don't really like this stuff,